Well, as I said before in our conversation, I'm doing music, but I don't consider myself like a professional musician, a person who actually thinks of herself as someone who should be out there and playing. It's something that I really enjoy to do. So I know that when people are aware of what they do and they have like a consolidated practice, they might give, or maybe they find a meaning of what is free improvisation or what is experimental improvisation, that it's more like of a standard label. And for me, it's just what does it mean to play free and what does it mean to improvise, and it's the meaning of the words that have a meaning to my practice. So I don't have like a musical background, and when I say this, I don't have like a conventional. Didn't make any conventional studies. So when I grab the drumsticks, I really play a bit with my intuitions, or I follow some exercise, and from that I depart to something else. Most of the time I don't really know what I'm doing, but I come to a point when after I started, I know where I want to go. So I just throw some seeds. That's the free part of that, of what my practice can be called as free. And then from that, I think I'm improvising because I don't have nothing planned, and I also don't have expectations or rules because I'm not breaking rules because I didn't learn the rules, so I cannot break them. That's as free as I can play, and that is how I may improvise. But of course, when I get to something that I like to hear, or I have the feeling that I would like to develop, there's a more compositional side. But if I'm composing, it's with my head, not with notes or melodies or fixed rhythms. Or yeah, it's very naive. I know, and somehow I like to be there. Not because I feel it's superficial, but I'm getting a lot from that place at the moment. So first, my first memories of my relationship to sound and music are really like in the beginning of my life. I had just a feeling with music and sound, like I felt enchanted. Can we say like this? And it was for me very like mysterious. How can we have sound and music, and how can we have this on a record? So one of my first questions, like elaborate question, was how can we have music in a vinyl? My father said, you will learn once you are in school, because I don't think he could give me the answer when I was like 4 or 5 years old. And in another thing, another very important memory was when I just felt like I wanted to play something. I grabbed some decoration that my mother had made of silver, like plates, silver plates. So I was pretending I was a drummer, and I just ruined my mother's silver plates. I said, I don't know what happened. But that was after I actually asked my mom that to put me in a music school, and I really hated it. I just wanted to go because everyone was going, and I was just asking, can I go? What's that? What's a music? What is to go to music? People say I go to music, and I was having organ lessons. It was terrible. I didn't understand nothing. My hands are too short. I couldn't reach them. It was horrible. Then I just cried because I wanted to leave. If I look back, maybe it was clear that I couldn't translate into a language that I could analyze what I hear. It would be for me just to reduce something that is very big to something that becomes an object of study, and that made me feel like super far away of the experience of the enjoyment of it. So my thing was always about listening. It was the most pleasure moments of my time when I look back, just to sit, put a record on and listen. And then when I started to go to concerts, to travel with my friends just to go to the concert, and the respect I had for the bands and the musicians. So also I, I, I think I've never seen myself as someone who could be a musician because of all the distance and the respect and the amazing atmosphere that I was putting them on. But I think when I try to understand and explain how I'm doing what I'm doing, I take this metaphor. If I like to eat and I like so much to eat, sooner or later I'm cooking my own stuff. So it was just because of the feeling that I wanted to do something. But the expectations were not, I want to be a musician. Oh, I would love to, but I don't know. Let's just do. And by doing, it's already, I'm taking something. But we never do things without a consequence. So the consequence is that I'm becoming every day more engaged with the practice, and yes, every day I do something related to music, and I cannot see it differently at the moment. But it's not something, as I told you before, I don't expect to play a lot or to put out a lot of records. Each moment, each experience, I put so much thought on that I like to reflect and think about the experience a lot. But I also like to be a bit away, and I think it's the only way for me to exist in this sphere, because if I would take it as my profession, as my mission, maybe I wouldn't have the passion that I have. I mean, I say this because I know myself, and I know when I become too close of something, then it becomes maybe more of a routine or something that I feel like I should do. I just let myself go there, and I take the opportunities as well. So the first time I played um, was because a friend of mine, a media artist, told me that he was going to Istanbul to present one installation of his. And he said, "Do you have something to present? Maybe you could come." And I felt, how can I come? I mean, I don't have nothing. I don't have a practice. I just finished my licenciatura. It's like bachelor. I felt like I would love to put my hands on something, but I didn't have a clue. But I always, I need someone to just push me a bit. And he did it, Rudolf Quinter. And I just had one idea that it's not my idea. I was reading a magazine, and there was a description of a certain artist that was doing a certain thing with the vinyls. And I thought I could do something like this. So my idea was, okay, I will do some compositions out of records and out of the fact that I will use the errors in the surfaces and to actually provoke certain things physically on the record. So I will extract sounds, and I will depart from that, because I couldn't play an instrument. I would have to use sounds that already existed. But I was very interested in this idea of things that de-integrate. At the time I was listening a lot to Disintegration Loops by Basinski, and that idea of a medium that actually gets ruined after a while was very appealing. So I started with that. and it never stopped, because in Istanbul André Gonçalves was there also, and he suggested my name to a festival in Lisbon, and then someone invited me to play in a gallery. Then it was just from one place I actually had the opportunity to to take the next step. I just felt so impressed that people were informed and wanted to have me, that I was like, are you sure? Have you heard what I'm doing? But it happened with the Turntables that I was invited to join other musicians in a more of a free improvised contest for Serralves em Festa. So I play with these amazing musicians, like we're 10 or 11 on stage, and I was using the turntables and the records as instruments. And that was shortly after, like 1 year after, this project that I've mentioned with Andrea Neumann and other musicians from Porto. And now I have the opportunity to sometimes invite people to play with me, like it happened in September for a festival in ZDB, at ZDB. They suggested that I played, but that I could play with someone else. And you know, I'm not David Maranhão, I'm not Ferrandini, who can use his practice, his background to reach someone and say, hey, come to play with me, I have a lot to give to you. So I just took the opportunity to say it via Facebook. I'm going to have a show at ZDB in September. I look for someone to play with me. If you are interested, just drop me a line. And I had the feeling that if someone comes, that person is interested. I'm not forcing. They know if they come, it's because they know about me or they want to know. So it will be completely just use this tool in a very specific way, this social media tool. So Tiago Silva came and he said, I would like to, tell me more. And I told him, we started 2 years, we played the gig, and now we feel like we want to continue. We have a second gig, we gave a name to the band, so we make it. So, my feelings are based on my wishes, of course expectations and also maybe fear, but I would like, what I'm very surprised is that I'm living in Portugal. After being outside in Berlin, I thought I'll go to Lisbon, I'll do this master program, I'll go out again. But I stayed, and I've stayed because something made me stay. But the same thing that made me stay also made me felt like I should go on and outside Portugal. I never felt that's the place where I want to be, because I feel comfortable when I am foreigner. And Lisbon, for instance, I feel foreigner in Lisbon, but not in a way that I like. I feel like this is really not a place for me. But I have a relation with places that I really force myself not to hate a place where I live. So I always want to give a chance to myself and the place before I decide to leave. So I gave 1 year to Lisbon because I said, okay, I'm not doing nothing here. But I didn't try out nothing. After I studied, I did my first year of the master program. But I had the chance to play a gig with the Turntables at ZDB, and I thought, I play this gig and then I'll see. But if I want to move away from Lisbon, at least I want to be in peace with the city. Because if I come back, then I come back and maybe I come back to a place that I might miss. I see lots of people working a lot, do many interesting things, and suddenly I feel I'm part of that because I'm participating. So my wishes for the future are, I don't want much more of what I already have, because what I have still gives me a lot to explore and to dig. So for me, the present, it's really the future. It's something that I really want to hold and care and take it with me. If it's in a different city or in a different place, I already know what makes my day. So I just want to use what I have and really to give more, but in this frame of an already existing thing that it's still so new for me that I just want more of it.